us to live lives that are pleasing to you, Lord. Bless everyone present here today, and may this event bear fruits for our company, for our communities, for our nation at large, and of course for the future generations to come. Show us your mercy, show us your love, and guide us from the beginning till the end. We love you, we honor you, and we adore you. I pray all this believing and trusting in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Thank you. We may assume our seats. Thank you, Judith, for that prayer. Allow me now to call upon Agnes Mainya to just come on the podium as well to just brief us on matter security. We just get a security brief from her. A round of applause as she comes to the podium. Mpigeni makofi tafadhali mzuri.
It is actually a safety brief, come security. So we are at Karura Forest, which is one of the biggest forests within the cities in the world. And it covers an area of 1041 hectares. And it's currently being managed by KFS and Friends of Karura. One of the highlights about this forest is that it is remembered of the late Wangari Maathai, who really fought for this forest in the late 90s. And then the forest is a home to many species. It's a home to many animals, including antelopes. We have also birds, over 200 birds, and monkeys, but and among many others. And none of this is carnivorous, so we have nothing to fear because, none of these animals is harmful to us. But then we are reminded that as we walk around the forest, as we walk around the areas, we maintain the tracks which have been designated. And these tracks are clearly marked. We have the junctions at the junctions at the different tracks are clearly marked, and also they have signages showing where we are. So in case we get lost, actually the forest, we've been allowed to take a walk after this event. We can all take a walk, and if we get lost, we can contact. We have those contacts strategically located at the different areas. So we have water that has been provided for drinking. We have the area for where we're taking our meals, and we're able to get water from that area. But even as we take the walks in the forest, we also have strategic points with purified water, and we are allowed to use that water for our drinking, but only with glass or any other bottle, but not plastic. This is a plastic-free zone, so kindly do not litter, if you have any plastic in your bags, then you cannot have this around this area, and we cannot use plastic bottles to get water. Also, we have, for our safety, we have our rangers, we have our scouts who are patrolling around this area, and in case of any issue, we are able to reach out to them, and even if we get lost, then they'll be able to locate us and guide us appropriately. Also, we have washrooms that are available, separate for male and female, on my right side. I'm sure some of us have been able to use. So kindly let us ensure that we use it properly, and definitely we have to maintain the area in a way that is, in a way that we leave it in a more sanitable way. Also, if we are not able to make visits today, if we're not able to walk around, the area is available for us Monday to Sunday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And also we are reminded that the gates today will close at 7. So even if we are going to take our walk, let's ensure we are outside the forest area by 7, because the gates close every day at 7 p.m. But then if we are to buy tickets any other day, we can be able to get these tickets, and the tickets are bought up to 5:30 p.m. But still we are reminded that we need to be out by 7 p.m. I think that is it for the brief. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A good round of applause for her again. So at least we take relief in the fact that when we don't have any carnivorous animal here. Thank you so much for that. At least also make sure you take your walk to every nook and cranny of this forest that we know it is so rich with fresh air as well. So that will be also good for your lungs today. Thank you. Just before we continue, and I invite the opening remarks, I just want us to stand it a bit so that we can try and refresh ourselves just briefly. Let's just be upstanding, just for a little activity to prime you for, of course, the opening remarks. And we know we've just highlighted the thing to do with the people, the planet, and the profits. It is all where environmental, social, and governance is heading to. And sometimes it can look like everything is going every which way. This is the time I want to hark it back to your geography class if you took it. And I know most of the engineers here. All right, yeah, that was also a good, subject for them. Lift it higher. Good. Close your eyes. It's all about trust. Don't look at me. I want you to tell me and show me, demonstrate with your index finger, where is your true north? Can you point to where your true north is without opening your eye? And don't poke your neighbor's eye, because, lift your finger higher. Where is your true north? Where is your true north? All right, don't put your hand down. Open your eyes. Look at your neighbor. Don't put your hand down. Ask your neighbor, are you sure that is your true north? Ask your neighbor, are you sure that is your true north? All right, don't put your hand. I know you're getting tired, but we're getting there. Are you sure that is your true north? All right, let's see. Let me consult my compass. Don't put your hand down yet. Don't change directions. Wherever you are pointing, continue to point that direction. But just standing where you are and looking at the compass, my true north is, let me see how many guys have got of this. That direction. That direction, right? So when we are locating the geothermal, place, that will be the location. All right. Okay. The last one. Put your index finger out. This is going to be very vital towards the end, of course, and the entire of this program. The president has been talking about the affordable housing, right? Right now, I want you also to house your neighbor's finger. Don't house yourself, right? So we have, sort of a zigzag. Yeah, here they've gotten it right. Right. Is everyone housed right now? Make sure everyone is keeping warm. You know this place is numbingly cold. Is everyone housed? Good. Now, I want to see how attentive you're going to be. 2. All right, let's see. Are you ready? Time to redeem yourself. 2. Follow instructions. Follow instructions. Follow instructions. All right. Let's do it the last time. Please. Let me count, please. Don't be anxious. Are you ready? Good. 1. 2. 3. Grab the finger. Clap for yourselves, please. And make me welcome on the stage right now for the opening remarks by the Manager of Sustainability, and this is Elizabeth Mwangi Gishao. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as she comes to the podium.
How are you, everyone? This is a great day, as we have prayed, and we thank God. Our distinguished guests, senior government representatives present, CEOs and Director Generals, development partners, and investors, regulators, kengGen. Okay. Yes, this is a great morning,
And it is great to see all of you here today. We are pleased to host you for our sustainability report launch. I would like to share a small story that was shared with us by Frank about a week ago, when he came back from a very far continent, and which he calls Maju. He reminded us that whatever we do in kengGen is that he reminded us that whatever we do is world class, and what we are doing today, which is reporting on our sustainability, which we are doing right here in Karura, is a full test of your statement. So today we are all echoing that kengGen has pulled another fast, and it is world too. So ladies and gentlemen, as I walk us through our sustainability reporting done, documented and public acknowledgement that comes with that moment. It is our word which is made visible, and it's also open to scrutiny. And so what has this reporting journey of sustainability taught us about ourselves? I want to be honest about something, that when we began this process, I think many of us assumed that what we are doing is just gathering data, presenting data, drawing charts, targets, and putting together numbers. Fortunately, and to our advantage, we had our very own subject matter expert, one Dr. Jane Bogle, who had just acquired her PhD and gladly grabbed the opportunity to put into practice what she had just learned, and it was just fresh. She outdid herself and managed to bring us to where we are today, celebrating the launch of our sustainability report, which is celebrating our sustainability report today. Personally, I have learned and continue to learn a lot from her at every step of this sustainability reporting journey. Therefore, what we discovered was something much richer and much more humbling. We discovered that sustainability at its core is about looking back honestly and asking, what did we actually do? Not what did we plan to do, not what did we intend to do, but what did we do, and what did it mean to the people that it touched. This question changed how we approached our reporting, and it also changed how we think about our work going forward. Let's talk about water, which is a basic right that should never be a luxury to anyone. I start with water because this is where sustainability becomes most personal, most human, and we all do agree that water is life. Thousands of households across Kenya still begin each day without reliable access to clean water. We know this because many of them live in the communities that surround our power stations. We see them, and we see it every day. It is so clear, we cannot unsee it. During this reporting period, kengGen supported more than 42,300 households with reliable access to water supply. 9 schools received 10,000 liter water storage tanks, and this is not just for daily use, but to harness rainwater during the rainy season, ultimately reducing the burden on communities when conditions are dry. When you ask what that looks like in real life, partly the answer is here. We are talking about a child who no longer walks for 2 kilometers before school to collect water. We are also talking about a school kitchen that is able to serve hot meals to the students every day. It is a household that directs the hours once spent on water collection toward work, study, and rest. 42,300 households, each one a family, each one a different life, was made a little more livable. This is not charity. It is accountability in action. It is what happens when a company decides that its obligation to the communities it operates is not optional, it is not seasonal, but it is a continuous commitment. Moving ahead to education, this happens to be the longest investment we will ever make. If water is where sustainability becomes immediate, education, on the other hand, is where it becomes more enduring. We believe, genuinely, deeply believe, that education is a great equalizer in Kenya, that Kenya has. That a child who has potential should not be determined by their postal code or their family's income or whether a power station happens to be nearby. Talent is everywhere. Unfortunately, opportunity is not. Our job, therefore, it is to close that gap as much as and wherever we can. Through the kengGen Foundation, which is our corporate social investment arm, a total of 237 students received scholarship support during the year. 79 of them successfully transitioned to university level. We further invested 17 million Kenya shillings in education and skills development programs, with a further 5 million Kenya shillings in school infrastructure improvements. But here is what those numbers don't capture. We are talking about the first person in a family to go to the university, the student who almost gave up and did not because someone, somewhere, decided that their dream was worth funding. This is the engineer, the doctor, the teacher, the entrepreneur in the making, sitting in a lecture hall today because kengGen chose to invest in a future it will not fully live to see. Supporting education is not just generosity for kengGen, it is foresight. These students will shape the economy that all of us and our children will live in. This is an investment which is worth every shilling. Moving ahead and deep into our local economic development, and this is the prosperity that stays at home. kengGen operates 25 power stations across Kenya, from the geothermal fields of Naivasha to the eastern, western, and coastal regions, and the outskirts of Nairobi. Wherever we operate, we carry an economic footprint. The question is, and we have always asked ourselves, does that footprint lift the communities around us, or does it simply pass through them? Our answer this year is very clear, and 69% of our procurement expenditure was awarded to local suppliers, and this represents Kenya shillings 10.01 billion circulating within the local economy, not leaving the country, not enriching distant suppliers, staying here in Kenya, in the communities that host our operations. But the number that moves me most is not just the total. It is the breakdown, and this is the reason. Women-owned enterprises in our supply chain grew by 17%. Youth-owned enterprises grew by 13%. Enterprises owned by persons with disabilities grew by 11%. Inclusion is, therefore, not a quota. It is a recognition that the people most often left out of economic opportunities are also the ones with the most to contribute if only one opens or someone opens that door for them. At kengGen, we are opening that door and we intend to keep it open. To us, what is the bigger picture? Sustainability is not just a division or a department, it is direction. As I lead the sustainability division at kengGen, I'm proud and happy and pleased of what the team has built over time. But I also want to be clear about something. Sustainability at kengGen is not what the sustainability manager does, but it is what the whole company does. Otherwise, it will be nothing at all. Sustainability lives in the drilling teams that choose to reuse 268 cubic meters of geothermal fluids rather than dispose them off. It lives in the procurement teams that give preference to small local suppliers over and above a cheaper international alternative. Sustainability also lives in the tree planting crew that goes beyond a target of 830,000 seedlings and reaches 220, not because they were told to, but because they understood why it mattered. Sustainability is also most powerful when it stops becoming a policy and it becomes a habit. When it stops being a department and becomes a direction for all of us. That is where kengGen is heading. And this report, which is our first, but also very far from the last, marks the beginning of that journey on record. And as kengGen, what promise do we intend to keep? As I conclude, I want to speak directly to the communities that surround our stations, to the families at Olkaria, Kidaruma, Gitaro, Tana River, and Kipevu, and to every community that lives alongside kengGen's operations. And sometimes they have to bear with the inconveniences that come with being a neighbor of large development projects and also with large infrastructure. This report is for you. It is our formal public commitment that your well-being is not just an oversight, it is not an afterthought in our planning, but indeed it is a central part of it. It is our invitation to that you hold us accountable when we fall short, because sometimes we can. To their sustainability team and our colleagues across kengGen, the ones whose daily work thank you. You did not just do us all. Predecessor, the late to posthumously credit you. May your soul rest in eternal peace. To your family for honoring our invitation and witness the work that you started. And to our General Manager, Commercial Services, Engineer, unwavering support throughout this journey. People report to the world, to the board, magnificent and creativity, imagination that have given life and ample partner, regulator from far. We sincerely grateful that you came into our space. Your presence, physical or is exactly what it is. We are thankful. The right
And that stands for the people, right? Where we have. So the question is, a searing one is, right? Your footprint. Ask your neighbor, what is the impression of your footprint? Right? Go and lift them higher and higher. Thank you so much. Let's continue our pace, and right now I'll want commercial services. This is engineer Kibet Rono to come and of course also give us an insight deeper ability report. But ladies and just all of us to stand up. Joshua Were. And today a round of applause again for engineer Tibet.
Honorable Principal Secretary, represented by Engineer Isaac Kiva, members of our board, represented by Director Bill Rahedi, general managers present, fellow colleagues, distinguished guests, partners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Some say sustainability is about protecting trees. I believe that the generations yet unborn inherit rivers, forests that still breathe, and an economy that continues to prosper. All because we chose leadership over convenience. Yes, our sustainability, and yes, it serves as an ESG statement of purpose. It by the number of megawatts produced, not in the number of electrons transmitted. It is about generating hope. Generating prosperity is hope. The greatest legacy we can leave is tomorrow being more prosperous. A timeless lesson about an African Acacian tree skyline. And because its foundation runs so deep, that is the essence of sustainability. It is the discipline produced, but how we produced it. Our MD and CEO. We chose not to hire a consultant, and the leadership in him is what inspired this journey. All across the company, and they volunteered because story than them. And every single day, they did their work, and above guests, may I kindly invite us to really applaud those 15 years who put this together. They say culture writes reports, but the real thing is that people are procured. It cannot be outsourced. It can only be cultivated of an institution. Our roots are becoming firms that 95% of the electricity dispatch sources, while maintaining the region's lowest, as mentioned earlier, during the year 2024-2025, we had a target to do 830,000 trees. This very team, under the leadership of our MD and CEO and our board, we managed to deliver 887,220 trees, all by the of kengGen. And our story did not 1,000 trees, not planting, but growing. To our board directors, to our managing director, our 15 ESG champion, to every member of staff and all partners, thank you for proving that sustainability is no longer just an obligation, but our competitive advantage as an organization. Let's continue proving that the strongest institutions in our time are not those that simply extract value from nature, but those that create value with nature. Because when history finally tells Kenya's energy story, may it also say that kengGen did not simply power the nations. kengGen protected the nation while powering it. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless Kenya.
Thank you for that cogent, well-articulated remarks from Engineer Kibet. Really appreciate it. I've just managed to also pick some of the salient points that he's mentioned, very illuminating. Just as we know it, there's an African proverb that says we are not, of course, inheriting our earth from our ancestors, but we are borrowing it from our children. And we also want to thank you for the good gesture that is coming from the organization when you say that we're investing, to what tomorrow holds. Highly opportunity again to walk over there and pledge all that we can see the flourishing and the blossoming of the fruits. When we talk about 1,000, that is 1,021,000 trees. Just as Kibet has said, it's a silent investment in Kenya's future. So there is a pending his signature. And we'll hold him accountable when he deviates from what he's done today. Thank you. Mpigeni makofi tafadhali. Right now, I want just to also yield the mic to the general manager. That is, I was supposed to just give Kibet that opportunity, but let me just grab it so that I can get to invite the executive director, Global Compacts Network Kenya. This is Compacts Network Kenya. This is Judy Njino to come to the podium and also broaden our understanding and our scope all about sustainability report. A round of applause as she comes to.
Our chief guest, Dr. Engineer Ngeno, PS State Department for Environment, represented by Engineer Kiva, kengGen, to your ladies and gentlemen, a very warm but cold good morning. So it's a privilege to join you at the launch of kengGen's inaugural sustainability report. This is a milestone that marks the beginning of a far more comprehensive conversation about the shareholders, but for the communities, for the ecosystem, and of the UN Global Compact Network Kenya and the wider UN Global Compact ecosystem. I extend our warmest congratulations to kengGen's leadership, the sustainability team, the 15 champions, and everyone who brought this report to life. Now, our relationship at the UN Global Compact with kengGen dates way back to 2019. From the very beginning, kengGen took the commitment to responsible and ethical business conduct very seriously. Year after year, kengGen has submitted its Communication on Progress report, which is our annual public disclosure that demonstrates how companies in the UN Global Compact on responsible business conduct. Issues touching on business respect for human rights, labor rights, advancing environment, and working collectively to fight corruption. And these principles have been embedded firmly into kengGen's operations, strategy, and governance, and that's where we are here today to affirm and to acknowledge the work that has been done. Now, this consistency matters. Many companies we know all over the world commit to sustainability and go quiet. kengGen has not. That sustained engagement through changing leadership, evolving priorities, and a demanding operating environment speaks to governance maturity and an institutional conviction that transparency and accountability are not optional. They are fundamental to what it means to be a responsible business. So today's launch is therefore not a departure from that journey. It's an evolution in disclosure maturity, building on years of reporting experience to offer stakeholders a richer, more integrated view of kengGen's sustainability impacts, risks, as well as opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know we are living in a moment when expectations on businesses, particularly large state-owned enterprises, have shifted dramatically. Environment, social governance disclosures, climate reporting, sustainable finance requirements are no longer niche concerns. They are shaping today the way capital is accessed, procurement eligibility, investor confidence, and regulatory compliance globally. As one of Kenya's leading state-owned enterprises, and of course the country's leading power generator, kengGen is demonstrating that public institutions can and must lead on transparency. kengGen is not waiting to be required to disclose, it is choosing to. For many public institutions and state-owned enterprises across Kenya and the region watching this space, kengGen is setting the pace and a standard. That matters as much as the report itself. Now, it is impossible to tell kengGen's sustainability story without telling Kenya's clean energy story. And you've heard already, with an installed capacity of approximately 1,726 megawatts, over 86% drawn from renewable sources, geothermal, hydro, and wind, Kenya has been the backbone of Kenya's electricity system for decades. Kenya today sources over 90% of its electricity from renewables, ranking among the top clean energy economies in Africa and indeed the world. kengGen has been central to making that possible and of course carries the energy story for not just Kenya but Africa as a whole on the global stage. We've had, through its Good to Great 2034 strategy, kengGen has committed to adding a further 1,500 megawatts of clean energy capacity over the next decade, driven by geothermal expansion, hydro rehabilitation, and the scaling of wind and solar. This is not just energy growth, it is climate action at scale, at the scale the world demands, directly supporting Kenya's nationally determined contributions and its ambitions for 100% renewable electricity. Now, beyond generation, this report rightly showcases kengGen's contribution to biodiversity conservation, water stewardship, community development, and local economic empowerment. These are dimensions of sustainability that often go unrecognized because we tend to hear a lot of the stories focusing on the E, the environment side of things. But of course, we know the social, the governance are equally essential to kengGen's social license to operate, and of course, its long-term resilience. As we dash forward to the 2030 agenda to deliver on the Sustainable Development Promise, kengGen's sustainability work maps directly to the global goals that matter most. At its core, on SDG 7 on affordable and clean energy, kengGen is already contributing greatly to the global renewable energy story. And this is what kengGen does every day, but the linkages run deeper than that. Every time kengGen generates clean power, it displaces thermal alternatives and advances SDG 13 on climate action. As a major employer and an anchor of local economic activity, and we've heard, of course, the depth of how you're, of course, advancing economic opportunities through your procurement, kengGen is contributing to decent work and economic growth. And through active stewardship of ecologically sensitive areas, the company is also contributing to SDG 15 on life on land. Finally, none of this is possible in isolation. And the partnerships with the UN Global Compact and other organizations in the room, you're of course contributing to SDG 15, and of course collaborating with the global community to ensure that we are unlocking partnerships at scale that will deliver us the world that we want by 2030. This breadth of alignment is not accidental. It reflects a company that understands sustainability in its fullest sense: economic, social, environmental, and I might add also governance, and is also willing to be held accountable against all 4 dimensions. So at the UN Global Compact, we work daily with companies such as kengGen across sectors to turn sustainability commitments into credible, measurable action. And we have seen what happens when companies engage seriously and take this commitment seriously with reporting, and what happens when they do not. And sustainability reporting, as we all know, is not merely a compliance requirement. When done well, it is a strategic tool that identifies risks, builds stakeholder trust, attracts long-term investments, improves operational performance, and anchors accountability within an institution. And it is a learning process, it's a learning journey for the teams that are involved, because it allows you to have that introspection of where the risks lie, where the opportunities are, to of course advance your contribution as a force for good in society. And so at the Global Compact Network Kenya, it's been our proud and our pride delight to work with kengGen in this journey since 2019. And we look forward to deepening our partnership as kengGen's sustainability ambition continues to grow. Later this year, we will be, of course, attending the UN General Assembly Week. And together with, of course, the UN Secretary General, we're inviting you, Bwana MD, to join the global leaders in, of course, discussing and advancing action crisis. So you do have a front row seat to actively turn the tide on the climate. Sustainability reporting, ladies and gentlemen, as I close, is not the destination. It is evidence that the journey is well underway, and that the commitment to keep going honestly and transparently is there, even when it is difficult. And so this inaugural report is evidence. It is publication, tells us that the work has been done, but much more still needs to be delivered. And the publication that is going to be unveiled today is a gift, not just to the investors that might be in the room, the regulators, but to every Kenyan who depends on clean energy, affordable, reliable energy, and to every institution watching to see whether transparency is possible at the scale that we are seeing in the public sector. So I thank you all for your attention, and we look forward to collaborating and supporting kengGen to deepen its sustainability journey, as well as commitments, and helping us, of course, grow our economies and our industries in a sustainable and clean pathway. I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for her. Don't be in a tearing rush again, so that we also give you this opportunity to append your signature. And they always say you cannot whistle a symphony. It takes a whole orchestra to play a symphony. And we want to say and express our thanks to you and a Global Impact Network, working hand in hand with kengGen in making sure that the journey as well, as far as realizing the SDGs is concerned, SDG 15, and amongst also a number of them that we have in the 17. So we want to thank you so much, and a round of applause for her again, that are making sure that kengGen also, they're reaching out with the credible action that they're keeping them on toes as well. She's spoke on a raft of issues, which reminds me as well that in May 2023, we had the African business also highlighting kengGen and talking about geothermal power in Africa. And this is what they said, right? Indeed, Kenya first started. You done? That was quick. Oh, that was good. A quick signature. All right. Thank you very much again. I don't know who was for Judy. This is what it says. It says, indeed, Kenya first started to explore its geothermal potential as far back as 1950s. But the sector only really took off from the late 1990s onwards, as the country looked for a way to combat electricity supply problems stemming from an over-reliance on hydropower. Kenya now has the 8th largest geothermal production capacity in the world. 8th. This is on in 2023. I don't know if we've moved a notch higher or lower, right? So I'm going with this particular report. You can advise us and tell us where we are at. But guys, at 8th in the world, Iceland being the topmost, we need to give ourselves a round of applause. Everyone, for that matter. So, your work is being acknowledged. In the meantime, as we continue our pace, before I welcome now the Managing Director and the CEO, allow me to just acknowledge our guests who are here. We have Dr. Engineer Festus Ngeno, of course, PS Environment and Climate Change. We have heard from Judy Gino, Executive Director, Global Compact Network Kenya. In a few moments as well, we'll be having Michael Kagika representing now, that is the PS National Treasury in its entirety. We'll be also hearing from Engineer Isaac Kiva, representing PS State Department for Energy. Ben Lang, MD Kyoto Networks Africa. Joanna Yuma, Commercial Manager, Energy Services East Africa, WTS Energy. Hilary Kibi-Watt, Ambassador, Kenya's Billion Tree Growing Campaign. And Andrew Savoy, I hope I got it right? That is Andrew Savoy, CEO, Munje Group, Sustainability and Renewable Energy Enterprise. Kindly just appreciate, yes, this wonderful guest that's amongst us this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, I present to you with considerable pleasure the Managing Director and the CEO of kengGen, Engineer Peter, to come and of course also and give his remarks. Tafadhali, pigeni makofi mzuri. Peter Mshena, thank you so much and good to see you. So I always see the soft copy of you on TV and on papers. Now today I get the handy opportunity again to shake the hard copy. This is the hard copy. Over to you.
Thank you. I wanted to correct some statement before I make my remarks. We in Kenya, we are actually number 7. And in a short while, in the process of commissioning one of our geothermal power generating station in Ontario, we shall be number 6.
Wanna see, I just read from that report and I said, you will correct me as some guide. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Principal Secretary, State Department for Environment, Climate Change, Dr. Engineer Festus Ngeno. Principal Secretary, State Department for Energy, Mr. Alex Wachira, represented by my classmate at the university, Engineer Kiva. Maybe most of you don't know that. We have a representative from National Treasury, I've just heard. I don't know whether he has arrived. Mr. Michael Kagika. Our board member, Mr. William Rahedi. Government representatives who are here, leaders from the energy sector, development partners, Global Compact Executive Director, Judy Gino, members of the diplomatic team Jenga kengGen, team Makaboseti, to launch kengGen's inaugural lights to sustainable business. Our performance ability in the very fabric. For over 70 years, in fact, clean energy transition. And if you read our story, you hear that we have been to Ethiopia, we have been to Djibouti, we have been to Tanzania, we have been to Eswatini, and we are actually working with other countries in Africa to help them to harness their geothermal potential. Much has changed over those 7 decades, but one principle has remained constant. our commitment to creating lasting value for current and future generations. Generation to generation, that is not just a phrase. It is our philosophy, our obligation, and our North Star. It reflects our belief that energy we generate today must contribute to a future that is cleaner, more resilient, more inclusive, and more prosperous. This sustainability report is the most direct expression of that belief we have ever put on paper. The world is undergoing a profound energy transformation. Climate change, shifting stakeholder expectations, rapid technological advancement, and the surgical global demand for clean energy are reshaping the energy landscape at a pace and scale none of us can afford to ignore. Core business principle, not a peripheral program, they also create that shapes how we invest, engage communities, protect the environment, shareholders, and to this country. And aligned with national and frameworks, including Kenya's own development priorities, the Sustainable Development Goals, the UN global commitments, we honor Africa's leading provider of renewable energy solutions. Targets, including adding 1,500 megawatts of new renewable and clean energy generation capacity, with geothermal powering remaining at the heart of our growth strategy. kengGen has also been designated as the owner-operator of Kenya's first nuclear power plant, which will add a further 2,000 megawatts to the national grid. And this is part of the 5,500. And we are very glad that we are part of that journey. In addition, we will deploy 500 megawatt hours of energy storage systems to enhance grid stability and reliability, while operationalizing the Green Energy Park in Olkaria to accelerate green industrialization, attract sustainable investments, and unlock new economic opportunities for Kenya and the region. We are scaling our environment conservation efforts to reach 9 million trees by the year 2034, and we are exploring innovative financing mechanisms that can sustain this level of growth responsibly. But I want to be clear about what all of this is ultimately for. These ambitions are not about megawatts, our projects or infrastructure in the abstract. They are about people. They are about creating jobs, enabling industries, strengthening communities, protecting ecosystems, and building a future where economic prosperity and environmental responsibility are not trade-offs, but they are partners. As we mark this milestone, I wish to express sincere appreciation to our board of directors for their strategic guidance and unwavering commitment to sustainable governance. To our employees, the men and women who show up every day and make kengGen's mission real, that thank you. You are the engine behind everything in this report. And I wish that you give yourselves a clap. To our shareholders, regulators, investors, development partners, and host communities, your support challenges us to be better. That challenge is a gift, and we do not take it lightly. This sustainability report, the first of many, reflects our collective efforts and our shared commitment to building something that lasts. The launch of this report is not the end of a journey. It is the beginning of a deeper, more visible, and more accountable one. It reaffirms our promise to operate responsibly, create shared value, and remain answerable to the people and communities we serve. That accountability is not a burden we carry reluctantly. It is a responsibility we embrace with conviction. I invite every one of you, shareholders, partners, regulators, communities, and media, to engage with this report. hold us to what we have committed. Ask us the hard questions. Come back next year and measure us against what we have said today. That is how trust is built. And that is how kengGen intends to operate. Together, let us power Kenya sustainably and for generations to come. And maybe before I close, let me say that when we came here in the morning, we started a discussion and we were thinking about the late Professor Wangari Maathai and the PS, our chief guests. We wanted to make a humble request that part of this very beautiful environment, the Karura, can it bear Professor Wangari Maathai's name? So that generations that will come will remember that wonderful lady. I thank you and I invite you to engage us. Asanteni sana. God bless you all.
Thank you. A round of applause for Bonasio again. Thank you for those very cogent, well-articulated remarks. We really do appreciate. It will be hubris of me to repeat them, but also I want just to invite you to head over now and pledge your allegiance, right, to sustainability. That where we are headed to, all of us in this room, and where our finger also, as we raise it, is going to the true north, right? It's all about the people, it's all about the planet, and it's all about the profit at the end of the day. And we want to thank you, Bonasio, because you say we are, everyone here, contributing is the engine behind this sustainability. But within the engine, you are the cog that is moving this engine. And without your vision, without your direction, without your leadership, we'll not be here this morning with this sustainability report as well. And so we want to profoundly and with all humility thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, engineer does not just have kengGen in his head. He has kengGen in his heart. Mpigeni makofi tena. Thank you so much. It is also my great pleasure and honor right now to extend a hearty welcome to William Rahedi, who will give remarks. And of course, I want you to put your hands together. He's a kengGen board member as he comes to the podium, also to just give us his perspective as well. Mpigeni makofi kubwa. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Do we need the mic? Now, my position here is made much easier because Dibal, then Elizabeth, then Kibet, then Judy, then Peter have talked about the things I was asked to speak on. So for me, it's just to reaffirm that we are going forward with these things and that as the board, we are committed to doing this. In the book of Genesis, Moses is a Levite. The writer of that book says, these things are for you and for your children. Take care of them. And here we are gathered, not looking back to what has happened, but looking forward to making sure there's a tomorrow. And in the last 30 years, Don Warwick said, sometimes we hang on too much to what is past and we leave tomorrow to get lost. So here we are meeting to make sure that tomorrow happens. Distinguished guests, senior government officials, CEOs present, development partners and investors, regulators, present and absent, ladies and gentlemen, staff of kengGen, our environmental team, good afternoon, and thank you for being here. A milestone 70 years in the making. When kengGen was designated to generate 70 years ago, it was never anticipated that we'd have an occasion like this. So it's my privilege to stand before you today at what I consider one of the most significant government milestones in kengGen's 70-year history. The launch of this inaugural sustainability report is not a ceremonial act. It is a formal and public declaration that kengGen now holds itself accountable for its environmental, social, and governance performance with exactly the same discipline and rigor it applies to in its financials. If I may say, in the financials, it's always stated, if you read the financials, that the company is a going concern. And it's because they're reflected on how you have invested, the returns you're making, and that you can continue into the years to come. Otherwise, there is usually a warning. So basically, when we say this, is that we are working in an environment that you're going to sustain what we are doing in the years to come. So those of you who have invested in kengGen and have stakes in kengGen, take note that you can continue to invest in kengGen because it's sustainable. It's going to continue in that direction. So why does sustainability matter? As a board, we understand deeply that ESG performance is not a side agenda or a feel-good exercise. It is, at its core, a financial and strategic matter. Climate resilience, responsible resource stewardship, community trust, and ethical conduct each carry direct implications for kengGen, cost of capital, our regulatory standing, and our long-term value reposition for this nation. kengGen does this. I was recently involved in an exercise where there was a lot of pressure for us to get on staff some very, very qualified, but also very unqualified persons into kengGen. It did not stand the test, and the management turned it down. It was difficult to deal with it, but that is it. You need to have that people in place who can sustain the operations of kengGen. And that's the commitment that we are making here today, that we shall not get into situations that distract kengGen from its mandate and its commitment to deliver for the Kenyan people. So when we get this right, we are not just being good corporate citizens. kengGen has a turnover, a happy one. We wish to make that grow. So when you come back next year, as you have been invited there by Peter, our MD, ask us about our turnover in the financials and also our contribution to the environment. Building the architecture, what we put in place to sustain this. During the year, anchored a deliberate and structured effort to build kengGen's sustainability governance from the ground up. Let me share what that looked like in practice. We oversaw the development of the company's very first sustainability strategy, covering the period 2025 to 2030, as well as the first standalone sustainability policy. These are not documents that sit in the drawer. They are living frameworks that guide. 15 ESG champions were appointed from across departments. This has been mentioned. We have interacted with a number of them. They are fired up to do the work. That was intentional. we wanted accountability embodied at the operational level, not confined to the boardrooms. That's why you have a sustainability manager in Elizabeth, the people she has across the company to make this happen. We institutionalized quality ESG reporting to the board, meaning sustainability performance now receives the same scrutiny and credence as our financial reporting. Our governance structures were aligned with the Nairobi Securities Exchange, ESG disclosure guidelines, and this report has been prepared initiatives 2021 standards. We're not creating the standards. We're taking the best that comes from the world to set for kengGen and what it can apply. And we hope that as a country, we shall all be having the same reference point from those standards. The principle of double materiality guided the selection of our 10 material topics, reflecting both the financial impact of sustainability and the impact of our operational. That two-way lens is essential. We need to get a feedback from the people out there who don't know how kengGen operates so that they can identify with it. And we need the people inside kengGen to buy into doing things right for the future of kengGen and its people. The numbers speak. What we delivered in 2025. The results of this structured approach are already visible and they are verifiable. A lot of these statistics have been given by Elizabeth and the speakers before me who I stand on. kengGen dispatched 95% of its electricity from renewable sources, maintaining a carbon emission intensity of just 0.06089 tons of carbon per megawatt hour. A figure that positions us among the cleanest large-scale generators on the continent. I don't have a figure for the global rate of that, but this is a reflection that we as Kenyans should take pride in being a lead in something on the continent, and we should maintain that leadership. And we have also for our fellow neighbors so that they're all able to get 203 seedlings, 42,300 households, shillings 10,000.01 billion close to the communities that host our operations. 237 students received scholarships supporting investments for the next generation of Kenya's workforce. Our governance, kengGen achieved a perfect score in public accountability. Full marks in both compliance resolutions and access to information. Notwithstanding, many of you may not know, but it's a requirement that we report back to our main shareholder on how we're doing in relation to what they have invested in kengGen as the government. And we regularly have those reports discussed and worked on every quarter and submit those. So this report may be the first public launch of our sustainability report, but there are yardsticks that have been set in place by government that keep on checking on how well kengGen is doing comparative to other enterprises that the government is involved in. On governance, kengGen achieved a perfect score, I tell you that, on that score. Then these are not projections. These are measured, verified outcomes, and they matter. The figures and items that Elizabeth shared with us, any of you can go and verify. In fact, I would encourage you to look at them and then come back and tell us you either misled us or you understated them, or that you could have enhanced the reporting by telling us about this other aspect of it. We want to deliver what we promise here. The road ahead, ambition grounded in accountability. Looking ahead, the board is clear-eyed about the scale of what is required and about the opportunity that scale represents. The kengGen G2G (2034), that is the strategy infrastructure. kengGen has committed to growing 9 million trees by 2034. That aligns directly with Kenya's and reflects the kind of horizon thinking that defines a truly. The board will continue sustainability metrics within performance management frameworks, advancing the company's management firmly to account against every. Hence, our request that you check. If you keep checking, sometimes a small fire can be put out. It is not declared. It is built through consistent, transparent reporting over time. This inaugural report is the foundation on which that credibility will be constructed year after year. A word of sincere appreciation to the company's leadership, sustainability champions, and every member of staff who contributed to bring this report to life. The effort behind these pages is considerable and deserves recognition. Thank you, kengGen staff. Most importantly, I wish to appreciate our shareholders, partners, and over the years. We invite you to read this report and hold us to account. I repeat the words of our CEO, hold us to account on this report and the way forward. Because the questions that accountability is precisely we intend to make mean something. And with those few remarks, friends of kengGen, I thank you for attending this occasion and ask that God's blessings rest on you as you depart from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A good round of applause for Mr. Rahedi. Give him a coffee tena. Yes. Thank you so much. And he's reminded us that ESG is not a side agenda. It is smack dab in the middle of the strategy of the company. And we learned that also in coming up with this report, it is in right? And we know that even every listed company is demanded of them by the CMA that we have the integrated reporting, which is a regulatory principle right now for every company. But it's not just about the PPP that we're talking, it's not about the profit itself, also the planet, the people, and the profit. And it's good that he also teased out a verse from the Bible that you're going back to the beginning in Genesis. And you know what? This is in line with also what God demands of us, because he gave us this earth and he said, keep it and tend it. And this is in line with keeping. When we're sustaining the environment, it is in line with the keeping. And so we want to thank you so much for that. And he said, keep checking on us, right? Transparency, transparency, transparency. Keep checking on us and help us put out the little fires.
put out the little fires. So along the way, it is a community effort. When there is something wrong in the society. When we look to the deforestation, the dilapidation of it, then there is something wrong in the society. They've promised by 2030, 900 million trees. So, we'll get the people also who are really pushing the envelope. I just want to also extend a hearty welcome to broaden our understanding. Where is the nexus? How are we working together, right?
Energy, Mr. Alex Washira, PS State Department of Environment and Climate Change, Dr. Ngeno, the chairperson and members of the kengGen board of directors, MD and Chief Executive, Engineer Peter Njenga, distinguished, good afternoon. So very well, so we've had quite a number of, it was therefore shared out, and indeed earlier on I was representing my cabinet secretary at a function that has got so much similarity in organization. A GOE like kengGen was stakeholders, and in that spirit therefore I do bring you warm greetings from the fraternity of the National Treasury, more particularly from the two PSs. Mark this milestone where you are launching kengGen, not just a reporting requirement and accountability and sustainable value creation impact an organization creates for society, but is helping to set them. And I'm sure this then rings and resonates well with the transformations that government has been taking, and led by the National Treasury, the enactment of the Government-Owned Enterprises Act of 2020, governance framework that what has been mentioned here: transparency, accountability, professionalism, and performance across government-owned enterprises. So it's refreshing to hear the board member talk of ensuring that we have the right skill fit, even in management, to deliver for kengGen. It is very encouraging, when Engineer Njenga tells that beyond the megawatts they are looking at, they are concerned with how many jobs have been created, how many enterprises have been expanded, how many, what are the numbers that we can say our exports have risen, how many farmers have we supported, how many industries have been established, and this again, because kengGen does have a very direct influence on these parameters. And therefore, the emphasis is no longer merely on compliance, and it is good that the board, really places this as a core recognition that the emphasis now is on performance, is beyond performance, and that boards therefore are expected to provide strategic leadership. The management itself is expected to deliver measurable results, and institutions are expected to create both commercial and public value. Sustainability, therefore, can no longer be a peripheral corporate responsibility initiative, but a strategic business imperative. Across the world, investors, financiers, customers, and regulators increasingly evaluate organizations through the lens of environmental, social, and governance performance. Institutions that effectively manage ESG risks are more resilient They attract greater investment, strengthen stakeholder confidence, and are better positioned for long-term growth. kengGen Sustainability Report, therefore, does provide stakeholders with a comprehensive account of how the company creates lasting values while responsibly managing its economic, environmental, and social impacts. And indeed, you are daring way of telling everybody loud and clear to hold you to account of what you have committed is in itself a remarkable thing. So you have sent powerful message that commercial success and sustainable development are not competing priorities, rather they are mutually reinforcing. The government of Kenya does remain firmly committed to strengthening governance accountability through the National Treasury and the State Department for Public Investment and Asset Management. We shall continue to champion strong corporate governance, responsible stewardship of public investments, greater transparency and disclosure, like you are doing through this reporting, financial sustainability, operational efficiency, and long-term value creation for the people of our great republic. Reports such as the one that is being launched today advance these national objectives by enhancing public trust, improving corporate accountability, and providing investors and development partners with credible information that extends beyond traditional financial reporting. kengGen is amongst some few GOEs, is one of the organizations that for sure has a lot to depend on public trust and corporate accountability. And therefore, this is precisely the direction in which you have indicated that as a modern public institution, you are moving. kengGen remains one of Kenya's most valuable strategic national assets. For decades, the company has powered our homes, industries, business, and public institutions. It has made, therefore, indispensable contributions to our socio-economic transformation. But more importantly, kengGen has positioned our country among the global leaders in renewable energy through sustained investments in geothermal, hydroelectric, wind, and other clean energy technologies. We do appreciate and recognize and applaud the State Department for Energy, the kengGen, for these efforts it has made in putting us where we are in terms of renewable energy. These investments have strengthened our energy security, reduced dependence on fossil fuels, and enhanced our competitiveness as a country in increasingly green global economy. Yet kengGen's contributions extends beyond electricity generation. The company continues to create, which is very significant, employment, empower local enterprise, and the development that we have said it brings, besides conserving biodiversity and supporting our continued industrialization. kengGen's sustainability journey is firmly aligned with Kenya's broader development aspirations. The company's initiatives directly support the bottom-up economic transformation agenda that is being pursued by government, our Vision 2030, the National Climate Change Commitments, and the African Union Agenda for 2063, not to mention the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. As a government, we shall continue to support kengGen, and we do also commend kengGen for embedding these national and global priorities into its corporate strategy and the day-to-day business and its operations. As custodians of public investments, the National Treasury recognizes that sustainable organizational success depends upon balancing financial performance with the stewardship that we have mentioned in social responsibility and self-governance. So looking ahead, the competitiveness of our state corporations will increasingly be determined by their ability to respond to climate-related risks, promote efficient and responsible resource utilization drive innovation and continue to build resilient institutions. Preparing a sustainability report of the caliber that we have been introduced to by kengGen requires vision, discipline, collaboration, and an unwavering commitment to transparency. It also reflects the organizational culture that you have set as kengGen, and that you are willing to celebrate achievements while candidly acknowledging opportunities for continuous improvement. We do therefore, as the National Treasury, sincerely congratulate the Board of Directors, management, and the staff for this remarkable achievement. As I conclude, I do encourage kengGen to continue deepening its sustainability journey by strengthening innovation, enhancing stakeholder engagement, and continually raising the bar in corporate reporting. And this should be emulated by other state corporations who should draw their inspiration from this milestone so that they also embrace sustainability reporting as an integral component of good governance. As many of you are aware, the government has also established the National Infrastructure Fund, which is a strategic vehicle for mobilizing long-term capital to finance transformational infrastructure that will underpin Kenya's future economic growth. And the fund represents major steps that we are taking in strengthening our capacity to leverage domestic resources, attract institutional and private investment, and finance commercially viable infrastructure in a sustainable manner. The establishment of the NIF reflects the government's recognition that modern, reliable, and resilient infrastructure is indispensable for economic competitiveness. So we do need to have adequate energy supply, and these are some of the areas that NIF is focusing on, and also to ensure that we have efficient transport networks, our water infrastructure, digital connectivity, and logistics, which are foundations upon which productive enterprises flourish. We therefore once again, on behalf of the National Treasury, want to congratulate kengGen on this milestone and wish you well in your future endeavors. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Michael Kagika. Please don't go away. We want also to give you an opportunity to append your signature as you pledge to sustainability as well. And thank you for the remarks. Indeed, government and industry share a common responsibility to create an enabling environment where development is inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. And so without their support, without the enabling environment, then of course we can get some tripping wires along the way when we're trying also to make sure that we realize the successful launching of a sustainable reporting. So we thank you for those remarks, and we look forward to greater partnership also from the ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, because of time, allow me now to also welcome the State Department for Energy, and I want to extend a hearty welcome to Engineer Isaac Kiva, who's the Secretary General, Renewable Energy, to come to the podium and also give us a perspective from the ministry as he's standing in for Engineer Alex Washira. A round of applause for Secretary. Thank you so much.
Our chief guest, the Principal Secretary for Environment and Climate Change, Dr. Engineer Festus Ngeno, the Chairperson and Board of kengGen, the Managing Director and CEO of kengGen, Engineer Peter Jenga, my friend, Judy Gino, the Executive Director of the Global Combat Network, development partners, senior public and private sector officials, kengGen staff, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. So that's mine. I'm going to say one now for the PS, because I'm now representing him. And the PS likes a hearty response. He can make you repeat 2 or 3 times. And since I'm almost the last, and I will not keep you long. So let's try, because I'm going to tell him your message was received very well. So let's start from the beginning. Good afternoon. Very good. So today marks an important milestone for Kenya's energy sector and our journey towards sustainable development. And the PS would have wished to be here, but due to exigencies of duty, he was called to do other urgent matters. And that's why he sent me to represent him. And he wanted to say that it is an honor for him to join you, and also for myself, in celebrating this achievement and what it signifies for our nation's future. The ministry reaffirms its commitment to support institutions that are driving Kenya's clean energy transition. The launch of this inaugural report, happening here today at Karura Forest, bears significant importance. It is a clear demonstration that energy security, environmental stewardship, and economic transformation are priorities that go hand in hand. The world is undergoing one of the most significant energy transition in history. Across every continent, countries are rethinking how they produce, distribute, and consume energy. The conversation today has shifted from merely generating more electricity to now the world talking about strengthening energy security, accelerating the transition to cleaner energy, attracting investment, creating a sustainable without a reliable and sustainable energy, strengthening transmission and distribution infrastructure from across the entire value chain. These deliberate interventions are intended to make Kenya more competitive, industrialized, and a prosperous nation. Ladies and gentlemen, this cannot be achieved without institutions like kengGen that translate national aspirations into tangible results. For more than 7 decades, kengGen has powered Kenya's economy. Beyond electricity generation, kengGen's investments continue to demonstrate responsible management of natural resources, community development, innovation, and environmental conservation. That's why today's sustainability report launch is a key milestone. It demonstrates kengGen's focus not only on measuring the electricity generated, but also on the impact on the environment, communities, and the Kenyan economy. This is indeed the standard that modern institutions must aspire to attain. I therefore commend kengGen for taking this important step, as Kenya positions itself as Africa's preferred destination for green investment. Reports such as the one we launched today become increasingly important. They strengthen investor confidence, reinforce our nation, showcase the maturity of our institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, chief guests, as I conclude, may I take this opportunity to congratulate the board, management, and staff of the kengGen on this historic achievement. I strongly believe that this inaugural sustainability report will inspire greater innovation, stronger partnerships, and renewed commitment in the energy sector to ensure that we exploit our energy resources sustainably. Thank you very much.
Yes, yeah, you're not waiting for instructions. Thank you so much. A round of applause for him again. Thank you. Even as you opened your signature, we want to thank you also for those remarks and the partnership that we have as well with the ministry, very key. We are always looking forward to making sure that, yes, that environment is being created. And just as you alluded to that particular fact, we'll be keeping our eyes peeled and keeping out our ears as well to hear what other supportive engagements are being proffered from the ministry. Thank you so very much. A round of applause for him again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a moment. And I'd actually, of course, indicated that we have all the index fingers here, isn't it? Right? So I want just to make a good... Now, can you tell them, just poke their ribs a bit and tell them, get alive? Hey, yeah, get alive. Get alive. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, out of deference, I will kindly request you to be upstanding so that it may give me also a handy opportunity and welcome to the podium now our keynote address by the PS State Department for Environment and Climate Change. And of course, that will be followed after by the official unveiling of the report. A good, warm, okay, let me not waste time. Just a good, warm welcome to Dr. Engineer Festus Ngeno. Thank you. You may assume your seats.
Thank you. To recognize the PS colleague in charge of energy, represented by Engineer Kifa, the rep of the PSS of Treasury Economic Planning represented here, CEO and Managing Director kengGen, my friend Peter Njenga, the board of kengGen, Judy Njino, and the Executive Director, Global Impact Network, Kenya, the various of us who are here. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I know I'm between you and lunch, but it is you guys who have decided us to stay until this time. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, on the onset to recognize a few guys who are here. Peter, you know, I got the invite, and of course I was on call with my good friend P.S. Washira. And when I say my good friend, is my good friend. You know, there are people who just say you are my good friend, but Washira is one of my best friends. And I had told him I'm not coming to this event if he's not coming. But knowing what he's doing, as Engineer Kiva mentioned, we were coming together, but I had to agree to him to handle other matters. But again, I discovered that I have become part and parcel of kengGen by extension of Washira. You know, you and I have unfinished business, including your GM. And apparently, one of your staff also, we go to church together somewhere. We are in one safari group. A guy called Emmanuel, where is he? In fact, he's the one who was telling me I don't miss this event. Apparently, also you have one of your staff, Domitila. You know, he was my engineer where we work together somewhere some days. And of course, Engineer Kiva, we are in this story of negotiations together. So, you know, I'm part and parcel of kengGen, basically, or energy sector. And therefore, I'm happy to be part and parcel of you. Allow me also to recognize two of my staff, and I call them staff. One is the Environment Secretary, Dr. Kimosov, and of course, our ambassador of the 15 billion tree growing NRA. You know, that guy planted almost 24,000 trees in 1 hour. So we are waiting for the Guinness to verify your data, and we'll go and celebrate with you. Thank you so much, Hilary, for that. Allow me also to make a few remarks before I read the speech. Now, on the ESG champions, the 15 of them, my team have said that we, together with the National Environment Management Authority, you know, the sustainability reports that you guys are launching, or various state departments, at the end of the day, it is the responsibility of the National Environment Management Authority to provide a state of environment report for Kenya. And this forms part of it. So he has agreed that he will award certificates. So the CEO work with the DG NEMA together with the Environment Secretary and get those certificates to your ESG champions, the 15 of them. And I am happy that it is internal staff. You didn't use a consultant. Two is to indicate that you didn't mention about Professor Wangari Maathai. We honor her. We work together with the daughter, of course, Wanjira Maathai, in various other aspects. And I've been informed by the State Department of Forestry that there is a garden within the Karura forest that is named after her. So your issues are taken well care of, as you indicate. And of course, as you indicated earlier, the state, Kenya Forest Service are the one who are running with the Friends of Karura this particular setting. And congratulations for launching this event here. It really brings out what you are doing in terms of sustainability. Allow me also to indicate that on the IPCC sectors, there are follow sector, which of course it is my responsibility as a PS responsible for State Department of Environment and Climate Change, but especially on the climate change matters. That energy sector is the only sector that is green. And congratulations, because of the hydro. Of course, transport is red, agriculture is red, forestry is red, solid waste or waste management. So, but in our NDC, National Determinant Contribution Submission, we look at it as an economic-wide process, and therefore, while you are green and all the other sectors are negative, so for those who went to school, when you say 1 or -5 + 1 equals to -4, so we are negative in terms of our processes within the sector, and therefore we ask the other sectors to pull up their socks. In fact, the most pollutant or the sector that is leading is agriculture, and that's why they're working on their smart programs, followed by transport, but energy is the only green sector within the IPCC sector. And we truly appreciate when we talk about 100% by 2030 or 93% green energy right now, and then you guys are doing very well. On the 15 billion tree growing, which of course the ambassador is here, you are doing very well. But allow me to challenge you, CEO and the team of kengGen. You know, I know you are supporting the MFCI program, the MAU program that I am championing as kengGen. But you remember you have an hydro, Sondumiriu, which its source is MAU, isn't it? So I challenge you to extend the portfolio and kindly go and conserve. You know, that's a presidential directive, that as we do the 15 billion, everyone handles the ecosystem. So I challenge kengGen. I know you have adopted part of it. So I'm looking forward that you are going to expand the portfolio that you've supported the program on, and we are so happy that you have agreed to do so. And we are going to allocate you more of the, we are supposed to do 40,000 hectares. So calculate in the meantime how many hectares that you are going to adopt from, leave alone this 900 million you want to do across the country. There is where your water comes from. Yeah, God deal with it from there. Thank you so much for that, and thank you for agreeing to that. Allow me to, ladies and gentlemen, then to say that it is my pleasure to join you here today as we mark this significant milestone in Kenya's sustainability journey through the launch of the kengGen's inaugural sustainability report. And indeed, congratulations. I have been to various launches, and I know quite a number are coming up. And when I saw this was inaugural, then I said I must be here because this is the first one, isn't it? So I was wondering what you've been doing the rest of your other times. Because I think, but it is not too late. It is good that you have started this journey, and it is good that you have written it on your own. You know, if it had been done by a consultant, you wouldn't know where it's coming from. But congratulations. This is a declaration that sustainability has become central to how institutions create value, manage risk, and contribute to national development. And therefore, I want to congratulate the kengGen board, the management, and staff for taking this bold step by embedding sustainability into its business strategy and publicly reporting on its environmental, social, and governance performance. kengGen is demonstrating leadership that extends well beyond the energy sector. It is befitting that we gather here today at Karura Forest. Karura is a national symbol of environmental restoration, resilience, and responsible stewardship. It reminds us that when government, communities, civil society, private sector work together, we can restore ecosystems while creating lasting value for the society. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is at a defining moment. Climate change, biodiversity loss, land degradation, water scarcity, and pollution continue to challenge economies and threaten livelihoods across the globe. Yet these challenges present an opportunity to rethink how we grow our economies, manage our natural resources, and build resilience for future generations. And through our national climate change action plans, our national determinant contribution, our NDCs, under the Paris Agreement, our ambitious landscape restoration program, and our commitment
to increasing our tree cover from 12.8% to 30% by 2032, Kenya continues to demonstrate that climate action and economic development can advance together. Our vision is very clear: to build a climate resilient, low carbon economy that creates jobs, attracts investments, protects biodiversity, and improves the quality of life for all Kenyans. Achieving this vision requires government policies and commitment, and also calls for partnerships with institutions that embrace sustainability as a strategic imperative rather than a compliance obligation. And today's launch, therefore, is a powerful partnership in action. For more than 7 decades, at the heart of Kenya's energy story, by harnessing our abundant geothermal, hydro, and wind resources, the company has helped position Kenya as among the world's leaders in renewable energy generation while strengthening our nation's energy security and supporting economic growth. And we look forward to your commissioning of your new power plant so that you become the 6th in the world. We look forward to that. Every megawatt, ladies and gentlemen, of renewable energy generated by kengGen lowers our carbon emissions. This further translates to a cleaner air, cleaner energy independence, and a major boost in our investor confidence. Above all, it means a healthier and more sustainable future for our people. Sustainability goes beyond energy we produce. It is reflected in how we protect our biodiversity, conserve water resources, restore degraded landscapes, engage communities, promote employee well-being, and uphold the highest standards of governance. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, encourage that this sustainability report captures kengGen's broader contribution to environmental stewardship, social impact, and responsible corporate leadership. And these are the qualities that define. Ladies and gentlemen, across the world, investment is increasingly flowing towards organizations that can demonstrate strong environmental stewardship, sound governance, and measurable social impact. And therefore, sustainability has become a competitive advantage. Financial institutions increasingly assess climate-related risks before making investment decisions. And therefore, consumers are choosing organizations that demonstrate environmental sustainability. And this means that sustainability reporting is becoming an essential element of good governance and sound business management. It enables organizations to understand their impacts, manage emerging risks, build stakeholder confidence, and demonstrate accountability. I encourage more public institutions and private sector organizations to embrace sustainability reporting, not simply because it is expected, but because it strengthens resilience, competitiveness, and long-term success. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya's ambition to become Africa's green industrial hub will depend on 3 critical pillars: reliable renewable energy, sustainable infrastructure, and responsible management of our natural resources. And kengGen is uniquely positioned to support this transformation. Initiatives such as the Green Energy Park in Olkaria demonstrate how renewable energy can power a new generation of green industries, including green manufacturing, green hydrogen, sustainable agriculture, electric mobility, and other low-carbon investments that will create jobs and drive inclusive economic growth. As government, we remain committed to creating an enabling environment that supports innovation, climate resilience, green finance, circular economy principles, and sustainable investment. And together, we are laying the foundation for an economy that grows while safeguarding the environment for our future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, sustainability is a continuous journey of innovation, accountability, and collective responsibility. The choices we make today will determine the quality of life enjoyed by our future generations. Years from now, the Gen Zs or the Gen Alphas will not ask us whether we spoke about sustainability. They will ask whether we acted when it mattered most. They will hold us accountable, and you know them. Today, kengGen has demonstrated that action. I congratulate the Board of Management and the staff of kengGen for this achievement and encourage them to continue setting the standard of responsible corporate leadership. May this inaugural sustainability report inspire many more organizations to embed sustainability in their strategies, their operations, and their culture. And together, let us build a Kenya where economic progress is measured by what we preserve and the natural heritage we protect. On behalf of the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, I reaffirm our commitment to working closely with kengGen and all stakeholders in Kenya's climate and sustainability agenda. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I congratulate kengGen on this historic milestone and wish the company continued success as it powers Kenya's journey towards a greener, more resilient, and more prosperous future. God bless you, God bless Kenya, and I thank you.
Well, PS, we really do appreciate a round of applause for him and the opportunity to append your signature. There's ample of space, I can see. Unless your signature is very flamboyant, yeah, that it can grow beyond. Thank you so much. A round of applause for Bwana PS. Mpigieni makofi mzuri tafadhali. I know it is lunchtime, as he said, he's standing between you and lunch. I tell you. Thank you, Bwana PS. This is the moment right now, ladies and gentlemen. Bwana PS, don't go and sit down because you want to utilize your energy right now, right? From this moment moving forward. And this is where we want to unveil the reports. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Right? This is the moment that we want to unveil back all our speakers who have been here. But it appears also we can have the MD, the CEO, kengGen, on that particular side. Come, yes, on that particular. Right, Elizabeth kindly. Judy, if you may join us over here, right? We want to unveil the report itself. Judy, I want us to just separate 4 of you there and 4 of you here. Judy, Elizabeth, also we can have as well on this particular side, Kagika as well, and Kibet. Come. Yeah. Judy, if you may move on this side. All right, we want also to invite the exco to come so we can actually pair up so that we don't block. Yeah. 2 of you on this other side, yes, so that we, yes. A balancing act. So we want to make it good also for the camera. All right. Okay, the lectern? Sure. Thank you. So Judy, if you may just scoot over a bit so that we don't block the video wall. There we are. All right, so this is a video launch, and we want to, of course, begin any moment from now. The pyros will go off. Let's celebrate and, of course, immortalize this moment. This is the first one. This is the inaugural. This is it. And ladies and gentlemen, if also you may pick up your phone, right, and capture this moment and share it on your social media, that will be good, right? So make sure also your phones are up, everybody's engaged. This is the moment that we've been waiting for, right? Are you ready? Are you ready? No, I can't hear you. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, the first, the maiden, inaugural sustainability report by kengGen 2026. Roll it now. Powering a sustainable future, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. A round of applause. This is the maiden, the inaugural sustainability report. 9 million trees by 2034. I think I misled you with the 900 or so ambition, 900 million. But you've seen it right now. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate. And you also be getting a copy, of course, of this to make sure you have that Kodak moment that is immortalized, just also to make sure all our media houses, they capture this moment when they will be reporting it as well. We want to thank you so much, right? I will ask also the EXCO, they may take their seats. We want to gift also our, as you remain, we'll call upon EXCO for the photo session, but now for the gifting of our speakers who have taken this time, they've worked together with us. Thank you, EXCO. We really do appreciate you, right? On that particular end, first of all, we want to appreciate you, our PS and our keynote speaker this afternoon. There's the Festus Ngeno, and I will kindly ask that you come to the front and I'll call upon our MD and CEO, Engineer Peter Njenga, to come and hand over of appreciation and the gesture that you've shown us today, adding to the gaiety of. Flash your white as you smile, right, for the cameras. Of the sustainability report tokens that we're giving to our guests. Next, I want to just give this handy opportunity to board member William Rahedi, and you'll present this on behalf of the PS Alex Washira. Right, we have Bwana Kiba, Isaac Kiba here. Right, mpigeni makofi tafadhali. Move forward. Flash your white, smile, hold your smile for the cameras. Thank you so much. Next we'll have General Manager Commercial Services, Kibet Rono. Kibet Rono will take this opportunity to present a gift to Mr. Michael Kagika, right, on behalf of the National Treasury. Mpigeni makofi tafadhali. Right, Kibet, don't be in a tearing rush. We want also to just give you another opportunity to present a gift to the family as we stood in honor of the late Joshua Were, where we have this germinal idea of the sustainability report. They're here, ladies and gentlemen. We want to just appreciate the family of Joshua Were. I'll begin him a coffee. The man behind the drive. We honor him posthumously. Thank you so much. Wapigeni makofi tafadhali. Thank you so much. All right, I want now also to just give an opportunity to Elizabeth to present a gift to Judy Ingino, the Executive Director, Global Impact Network. Thank you so much. Move forward. Smile for the cameras. Judy, flash your white a bit. Smile. We see. Thank you. Now we want to move on to our photo session. And this particular first photo moment, we want to invite, of course, all. We had, so Isaac is there. I think you'll move to the center a bit. Alex Oshira being represented there by Mr. Akiva Festus. Again, of course, is there, our PS and the managing director there. All right, we have Judy. Would you kindly also join us on this? All right. Right, you can spangle yourself, you know, Judy, in between the men, please. This particular photo. Smiles, smiles, smiles. All right, media, are we good? All right. Now also to invite the kengGen board members to join. All of you. All right, okay. So we'll want now to, right, we remain with the PS there, the M, as an invite Exco to come to the podium.
Now we have the last one, dominating rush, right? So yes, we have the board leaving. We have also EXO leaving. Now we want kengGen Sustainability Development Division joining. Where are you? Sustainability Development Division joining. Wow, this is a huge team. All right, so we'll stand guided by the, all right, we need to spread ourselves. So let's layer up. Some of them can be, right, you can actually come down, just step down some of you, so that we don't widen the aperture and miss out some of you. Yeah, some of you can, the taller ones can be behind. Yes, we welcome the COPS. Yep. You can huddle together. All right, this is it. All right, a round of applause to them. Okay, oh, don't be in a tearing rush. Yeah, this is the last one. This is everybody back there, right? We also want to welcome Judy and Gino on this. Where is we want you to, now to hold the book itself. It's just so the soft copy. We want the report itself to be given to you, so that also we immortalize this moment. This is it. All right. So you can be thumbing through the pages, yeah, having a very. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm being guided. First of all, just hold it to the camera. Make sure it's not upside down. Yeah, it is upright. We good? Okay. So I will want now MD, Judy Gino, and PS to remain. So the same gesture. You know, this is acting, right? You need to act. Act for the camera. Yeah, Judy, kindly. You need to be enmeshed between the men. Right, there you are. Yes. Yeah, you're seriously going through it. All right, we good? Right, so I can see some Kalasha Awards nominee happening here as they're acting for the camera. Yeah. Don't go yet. Don't get tired. This is how you appreciate the movies, the way they're being made, right? Every shot, it's meticulous, repetitive. All right. Don't to call upon the sustainability champions back on stage. This is the last one.
This is the last one. Right, where are you? So that we can, yes, the champions. We cannot afford to miss this. This is the last one. Wapigieni makofi wanapokuja. These are the people who will make the realization of 9 million trees. Yes, in 2034. All right, media, can you guide us as well? If you, yes. We want to capture this moment. No one is left behind. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We really do appreciate. Wapigieni makofi as they assume their seats. Thank you for being amazingly patient. Coming to the tail end of the program right now, as we assume our seats. I would like to call upon at this particular time also to bless your food. She will be standing by. This is Beatrice Kandie. Even as she comes, we want to go back, right? We want all of us to stand together in ceremony of anthem. So kindly, we will have just the national anthem, and then Beatrice will pray for the food. Or should we first pray for the food, then the national? I think it should be the other way, so that we'll wrap it up. So you can bless our water and bless our bread. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All protocols observed. Even before we pray, we recognize that this is not compliance. This is obedience to a command that was given by God to take care of our environment. The Lord gave us that charge, and we have come here in obedience to the same, and we want to ask Him to help us so that we may be able to do that which He told us to do. Shall we honor God and pray? Our Father and our God, in the name of Jesus Christ, we want to thank You for Your presence today. We ask You to be with us from the beginning, and Lord, we've come back full of gratitude because of what You have done for us. Lord, we recognize that this is a command that You gave us to take care of that which You created. And as kengGen, Lord, and all the state departments that are here, we have committed ourselves on behalf of the people of Kenya to take care of this resource that You give us. Lord, we also recognize that our electricity generation is from green energy, from sources that You alone gave us, from hydro to geothermal to wind. These are Your resources, dear Lord, and we pray that You may continue to sustain the same for us, because without You, we will not have these resources. And so, Lord, we come in obedience to Your command, and we commit and commend ourselves into Your hands, dear Father. As we have committed ourselves through the respective signatures that have been appended today, we ask You, dear Lord, that You may give us the ability to be able to honor that commitment for the people of this country and for the world at large. And thank You, Lord, for each and every person that has been here to participate in this inaugural launch. And pray, Lord, that You may continue to sustain the partnership that we've started for the glory and honor of Your name. And the food that we are going to receive, we pray that You may bless it and sanctify it. For this is our prayer, trusting and believing in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Beatrice for the prayers. Now, as we stand in ceremony and sing the national anthem, I will kindly request also our guest to be on stage together with all the speakers that we had as we observed the national anthem. Judy, right? Every person that was on the podium as we sing, the chair, kindly. Welcome back to the stage as we observe the national anthem. And even as we close, just to remind you that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We've borrowed it from our children. And just as Beatrice, she's prayed for us and reminded us, all of us, it is imperative that we obey the command. Keep it and tend it. That is what God desires of us. Keep it and tend it. The national anthem. Thank you very much. I think the meeting now is over, and thank you.